What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us on episode 3 of First Steps. Today, we're back talking about the brand new horror series from HBO Max, 30 Coins. It's a really weird one. But with that, let's get into it. My name's Eric.
I'm Keith.
And this is First Steps. What's going on? How's everybody doing? Keith, how you been?
Good. Very good. Very good. I've been playing a lot of video games. To be honest with you, I just saw the Nintendo Direct, right?
Oh, yeah.
And actually started playing that demo for Project Triangle.
Oh, yeah.
Strategy.
Yeah, those with their name, dude, they got to do something about this naming.
I love it, though. Did you play it at all?
Was it Operation Triangle or something? No, I didn't play it.
Operation Triangle Strategy.
Triangle Strategy, yeah. It was the same people that did, what was their last one?
Yeah, Octopath.
Oh, Octopath Traveler, yes.
Yep.
I didn't play any of them.
Yeah.
They're too,
I know you and strategy games don't often get along because you have to take like your time with them and really figure out along the way.
I take way too much time with them. Mm-hmm. I just realized that the other day too. I was playing like a timed match of chess, and the person, it was a 5-minute match because we were doing like a tournament, and the person I was playing against, by the end of the thing, I was destroying them.
Yeah,
but I ran out of time. They had 2.5 minutes left. I was completely out. I ran out of my 5 minutes, and I was crushing them. And then you just lose.
Oh wow! So that's how they balance it up.
How for whatever this tournament was, yeah. So,
what is that chess one? Is it one of the ones where like you have powers with the characters when you move?
No, this was just regular chess.
Oh.
No, I mean the power for a horse to move in an L shape. I guess if you consider that to be a cool power.
Do you remember the one back in the day that had like?
Yes, it was like not wizard chess. That's from Harry Potter. But yeah, where they would act out the things for Nintendo or Super Nintendo.
Yeah. Like the horse would like have like a guy on it and spear the people. Yes. And I think like the bishop like had magic or something.
So there's a new free-to-play game called like, I forget what it's called. It's got chess in the title, but it's not a chess game. I've been meaning to talk to you about that. I'll have to look at it. It looks interesting.
I'm into it. Yeah, any kind of strategy RPGs are my jam. So if there's anything like that where I've got to there's a checkboard and I'm moving my characters around on it, I'm into it.
Yeah, I know you are. I can't deal with it. And then like there's permadeath and shit like that. I can't get down with that stuff.
Yeah, I mean that can be hard too. I
can't get down with it.
On those ones, you don't need to do well. Maybe some of the games you play. I don't do that on like what's it called, Fire Emblem and those kind of games, because that takes away from the fun. Or I just end up starting the level again when my people die.
Yeah.
Anyway, what have you been up to?
Dealing with we had a lot of snow.
Oh, okay.
You get a bunch of snow?
I mean, we had some, but it wasn't too bad here.
Yeah, I've been dealing with that. That's a big pain in the butt. Yeah, and then just watching.
You didn't lose power like the.
No. No, we've got everything's been fine. So I mean, and that, I've been watching a lot of that stuff in Texas. Holy cow, terrible.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Insane.
I was going to go into like a political rant, but no, now is not the time nor place for that.
We need to come together. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's talk about the show. Let's get into it. I know you're really excited. I'm really excited because this is very different from the previous two that we've watched. So it's called 30 Coins. We watched episode 1. And it is a Spanish show. It's on HBO Max, HBO Europe, and this was your pick. So go ahead. What? Give me your thoughts.
Well, first of all, I have to say this is the first of the 3 shows we've watched that I really wanted to watch the next episode right away, and I had to stop myself because I didn't want to come into this session with you and spoil anything in the future. And because I get jumbled up all the time with my facts.
Yes.
So I had to stick to just the one that I watched. And it was hard for me because I really, really, really enjoyed it. I love like kind of religious horror. I love sci-fi. I've always been drawn to kind of Spanish culture and French culture and European culture in general. So this kind of just had a whole European vibe to it. It was great. I loved every moment of it.
After you talked about it, when I saw like the trailer, we didn't even watch the trailer. I just saw like the synopsis, and I was like, oh yeah, this is why Keith picked it. When it just said the first thing, and it was like when a priest has to deal with some sort of supernatural thing, and I was like, yep, Keith loves this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, so let's give the episode a quick rundown.
Okay.
The beginning.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Yep. We start out on a farm. It could have been taking place in the Midwest, but
before that. Starts out with some old dude walking into a bank.
Yes, I forgot about this. Okay, yeah.
Just old dude walks into a bank, just shooting everybody.
Right.
So now, okay, before we get into the actual story of the show, this one's going to be tough not to spoil some things. But if we do give spoilers, they will be minor spoilers. Now, granted, we've both only watched the first episode, so
so you'll catch up.
Try to avoid like the major spoilers from the episode, but like shit went down, and it's going to be impossible to go without talking about it. So
I thought that too.
This dude goes into a bank and just starts shooting everybody. Everybody starts shooting him, but he's just walking through it.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, crazy. And he's like a weird looking dude too. No offense to this guy if he's listening.
No, I think that's kind of his MO. Like, what's his name? Who's the guy that always plays creepy guys in
Steve Buscemi.
I wasn't thinking of him. Who was the one in Body of Evidence with Madonna?
I don't know.
Who? Christopher Nolan? Is that his name? No. Who's the other creepy guy? He always plays creepy people. He's got his like receding hairline. His hair's back a lot. He kind of talks like this.
Chris Maloney.
Who?
Not Chris Maloney.
No, not him.
He's handsome.
I was gonna say he's handsome. Yeah, he's not creepy. He was in a creepy Madonna movie. Anyway, whatever.
We'll look it up. We'll put it in the notes. Or if anybody knows, let us know. Shoot us an email. Firsteps at Gmail.
You got to set that up now. Yeah.
It's set up. I just don't remember if it's First Steps Podcast or Firsteps at Gmail.
We'll put that on too.
We'll put it in the notes too. So then he goes into a vault, which is weird because he just pushes a button to open the vault. It seemed really, I don't know how vaults work these days. I've learned, but he goes in and gets a safe deposit box, grabs a coin out of there, bounces out, gets into a car with a priest.
Yeah, a blind priest, perhaps. We're not sure, but glasses on. Yeah. Real badass priest.
I think he was just real cool. I think he was just super badass.
Okay, I thought he was blind. I thought that added to the intrigue a little bit.
And then, so then the dude, he does like some magic. The dude dies, and he takes the coin from him and puts it in a briefcase. And then that's it. And then we don't see anything of that the rest of the episode.
That's right.
So what was strange. Yeah, I was like, this is awesome. Like, I love this. I thought it was going to be super fast paced. I mean, we broke right into this show super fast, firing like on all cylinders, and then the credits start.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The most fucked up credits that I think I've seen in a show. Now, do you think this is going to be the same every week? They're going to show these same credits, or was this just setting up the story?
That's a good question.
Because what it showed Jesus being crucified, and and I know this by looking at the synopsis of the show, Judas getting paid these 30 coins or whatever. But it was super stylish,
super great,
super violent, super gory.
Yeah. And I think so my boyfriend told me though there's a bit of something. There's a bit of a anachronism in this because apparently Judas was never at the crucifixion. So in the intro it shows that, but I guess that didn't really happen. He did end up hanging himself. And it shows at the end him hanging himself. I think and the coins drop. Right? Is that how it? Yeah.
So I don't know anything about any religious stuff. So
Yeah.
the whole time, like my wife went to like a Catholic school, Liz went to Catholic school,
Yeah.
and she was like, she was explaining things to me. She's like, I forgot, like you don't know like any of this stuff, and I'm like,
Oh, like when he got like pierced in the side with
no, I don't know anything about it. So
the entire
it was
crucifixion was shown, the different various steps. Like you said, almost in that is it like the Sin City kind of style in a way,
yes,
right?
yep,
Yeah.
yeah, very stylized. The like obviously like the video filming, like it was all done with like video and green screen, and like it all really popped, which made like the violence and the gore like even more over the top. So that was interesting. And then from there, so we go right into there to
that's 5 minutes in. We've seen all that. Yeah.
Good. And I'm already sitting there like this. Like what?
Oh, and we did warn you not to eat your dinner when you were watching it too.
You did. And I thank you for that, because then we go right in to a woman, a cow is giving birth, and a woman is delivering a cow baby, and there's a dozen people standing around watching.
Yeah, in that farm, which again could look like it was in the Midwest, but it turns out it's in Spain. And it's somewhere in we don't really know where in Spain, but smaller village, because they want to make sure they don't seem to be hicks. They say over and over again. They want to make sure that they're not being laughed at as community.
Very like desolate, like town, like very small town, like not much going on. But so this cow is giving birth, and the woman who's delivering the cow, there's a noise going on, and like she's all suited up, she's got her arms inside of a cow.
Yeah. Is
and
she a
there's
veterinarian?
We find out that she's like a vet for like farm animals.
Okay, because I missed that part. I was trying to figure out.
I don't think we're ever specifically told. I think we just have to like figure it out. There's a lot like that where we're not told, and we just have to like kind of go with it.
Okay,
but this part annoyed me. There's a dozen people standing around. There's a noise. This woman's covered in blood. She's got her hands in a cow, and she's got to go examine it or close the door or whatever.
That's right. The lightning strike, right? And the like the rain coming down or whatever. Yeah.
Like it's the only one doing something, and she's like looking around, like, can anybody like go get the door?
They're a bunch of farmers. She's an educated scientist, so she has to go out and explore what's happening. Did that set up a little bit of a us versus them possibly?
Yeah. So then she comes back, delivers the thing from the cow, and it's a newborn baby.
Yeah.
A human newborn boy.
Yep. It's got all of the like the goo on it. She's got to wipe it off so that it can breathe. Yep.
And then my face was like this, and then it went to like this. And I'm like, what is Keith making me watch?
And I think I was laughing the entire time, going like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Yeah.
It was great. So then we get to learn some more of our characters. Paco is the mayor. I don't know. He's kind of a douchebag. I don't know. He's very concerned with like the election and how he's perceived.
I mean, he was fine with me. He's a very attractive, very handsome man. So again,
he reminded me a lot. He reminded me a lot of you, actually.
I am a bit of a narcissist, that was why I was drawn to him. But thank you. I'll take that as a high compliment. Thank you.
And then they go talk to the priest. Then there's a priest.
Yes.
Padre Vergara, Don Manuel.
Love
and our first introduction to him, he's boxing.
Reminds me of you, actually, to be honest with you.
Thank you. Yep. He looks, I said he looks like kind of like Robert De Niro in like.
I can see it, absolutely.
There was a movie where Robert De Niro had a full beard, and I was like, he looks like him in that.
Yeah, I don't know either. Put that in again. We'll show that. Yeah, put that across the screen later on.
So their obvious thought is to go, like, let's go to the priest. This baby is born. The mayor's so concerned with the election and stuff like that, not being perceived in a certain way. So he's like, we got to figure this out. No police or anything. And
they all go like I love that part. Like all like 15 of them from the farm go straight over to the church to talk to the priest.
Yeah, it looked like an Arcade Fire video.
Yes, like an Arcade Fire video.
just walking through the
They got the
streets.
drums. They're
Yeah.
playing, they're walking. Yeah.
So then it becomes like a mystery of like, where did this baby come from? It's not let on at all that like it's anything like supernatural or spiritual. They're like, there's video of it, and they're like, okay, someone just swapped out the baby for the calf, and they're like, we got to figure out whose baby it is.
Yep. Yep.
So then it becomes that they're kind of like looking,
done it kind of thing.
Yeah, into like, whose baby it is and why this happened.
With the baby, we meet what is it, Carmen? Is that the woman, the farmer?
Oh yeah, so yeah, the farmer's wife, Carmen, she takes the kid in because they don't want to contact social services.
Yeah.
So she's gonna hang out with the baby for a while.
They figure out what to do.
Yep. And then so they're like just trying to figure it out. We meet Antonio.
Yes.
The slow kid.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like kind of a town. I don't know if he's like the misfit or like the guy who just kind of does his own thing in the town. Everybody takes care of him because he kind of is.
He was locked. His parents locked him in a basement until he was 15. Yeah. And then they passed away. And now he lives in a cave.
Yes, which was an amazing cave.
Yeah, you would have loved it with all the church shit that he stole. It was just, it looked like a church in a cave, but way creepier.
Like a grotto, some ancient grotto where a hermit would live. Well, I guess he kind of was a hermit, but just wasn't old.
Yeah. He was a strange dude.
But he didn't go to the church. He helped out the old priest. Because the guy we met is a new priest, right? He just came into town. I don't know what happened to the old priest. Did we learn that?
They don't tell it. So the timing is weird because like at one point, like they're talking about like the mayor's settling in, and then the priest is settling in, and everybody. And then at one point, like so the mayor and the vet, Elena and Paco, become like the main characters of the episode. And at one point, they're like, "I don't know you that much," and it's like, there's 14 people in this town. It's just weird. Like I couldn't figure out like the timing. So that was like, I don't know. It was one thing that I felt like better writing could have maybe tied it all together a little bit better.
Yeah, I did feel like the relationship went from about 0 to 120 miles an hour real fast.
Yeah, and then for him to not, he's like looking at pictures and he doesn't recognize like the guy in the pictures, but like, and she's like, oh, that was my husband. And it's like, wait, how long have you been in this town?
Not living in the same town? I don't know. Maybe she's not in the same town. Maybe she lives, I don't know. But he drove her home at one point.
He knew where she lived. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so I mean, it goes, the show jumps from like crazy shit to crazy shit over and over again. Cause then we've got the scene, there's a part where Antonio he doesn't like the baby. So he's trying to do something with the baby. You
don't want to say exactly what's happening with the baby, or we're not.
I don't know. So he's trying to kill the baby. We find out, and like
Antonio's like a religious zealot too.
He's crazy. He just like at one point he was like chanting like Latin, wasn't he?
Yep.
And he doesn't even know how to read.
Yeah. And he's kind of got. We realized too. He's got a connection with the priest because he does odd jobs at the church.
Yes.
But then he kind of knows about a secret passage at the church too that someone showed him, which I thought, of course, was amazing. Apparently, during the Spanish Revolution, I think it was the priests and the nuns would go into the secret grotto, kind of, or secret behind the Mary statue, right, or something. It opens up.
Yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah. So they discover the new priest discovers that, and then there's this whole incident with the baby and Antonio. And I don't know if we want to spoil any more with that, but dramatic.
Yeah, well, anyway, so like, and then we find like, so Antonio has one of the coins that was coveted by the priest in the beginning that he sent the guy out to get. Now we see another one of those coins.
Yes.
And then shit escalates pretty quickly from that point.
Yeah.
We've got, I have so many notes. And I don't even know like what to get into. Like this note just says like, Paco laying on his wife's lap as she weirdly rubs his nipple.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So first of all, I have to say, out of the shows we've seen so far, we've always had a lot of gratuitous male like shirtlessness. I really,
That's
really,
true. Yeah,
there's like under like
that's
current.
hot right now. It's hot
Yeah.
right now.
Apparently, yeah. So apparently that what they do in Spain is when they have kind of deep discussions with one another. One person will lay on the other one, kind of like spooning, but the other one will rub their nipple to really simulate kind of emotional connection. Not a sexual one, but to really get the story out and talk and connect.
Just yes.
So I like that part. I thought that was very realistic and very Spanish culture like.
Yeah. We also learned that the father had been in jail for someone died while he was performing an exorcism.
Oh, the priest guy, right? Yes.
So we get that's pertinent information that we get because he's new to the town and they don't know like too much about him. So the dude's doing like these Google searches and
the mayor wants to figure out more. Like he's realizing things are kind of weird and he hears some stories. So he wants to see, what's happening here. Yeah.
So shit keeps escalating. And for some reason, Elena, the vet, wants to go check up on the baby. She's getting an uneasy feeling. So we go to Carmen's house.
Yep.
And Carmen
back to the farm.
Yeah, at the farm. Carmen
she's there because of the cow. That was why she was there.
That's right. Yes.
The cow, making sure the cow was okay.
And Carmen was acting a little weird.
Yes.
So she talked to Carmen's husband and he was like, she's acting a little weird.
Yeah.
They had a baby that died on them. And so now she's like, she thinks this is like their child come back. This is their second chance. So she's like attached.
Yeah.
So much so where she's threatening people with knitting needles, like to stab them.
Yes.
Which I was like, dude, she's gonna like stab someone with the knitting needles because she's like just poking them in people's faces, like, you won't touch this baby.
Right.
Little did I know that was her main weapon, that she was gonna stab the shit out of everybody.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. That part when that happened, I was like, oh man. By the way, she reminded me of Phyllis from The Office. And I just kept just like Phyllis stabbing everybody with.
I could see Phyllis doing that. She was a little unhinged at moments.
Right.
So this part, I mean, the show was already pretty bonkers.
Yeah.
And then it was like times 1,000.
Yeah.
Because this is where like there's gonna be some spoilers. You go to the house and there's knitting yarn.
Yes.
Everywhere. Spider webs, looks like.
Of knitting yarn. Yeah.
And we find like in the yarn, like in a cocoon, Carmen's husband. And then she's got this fucking weird toy that's like just springs and like hinges and stuff like that. She's like
a doll head.
And a doll head. Dude, there's just so much.
But do we want to backtrack about the baby at all? Because she sees the baby before the string.
Yes, we have to, because that was the point where I was like, what?
Yeah. When that happened, I was like, oh, I love this show.
So Elena's there checking on the baby, and Carmen's like, oh yeah, he's walking now.
Yeah, she's like, what?
It's been 2 days. The baby was born 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And then they do a quick flash of the baby, and it's
the dancing baby from Ally McBeal.
But like giant.
Almost as big as Carmen. Yeah.
And with a demon face.
Yeah. So disturbing.
Dude, it was, I was like, listen, I looked at each other, we're like, what was that?
It comes like scuttling out for about 3 seconds out of the darkness, and then they cut away. And I was like, yes, what just happened?
Dude, it was weird.
And the bad part, she leaves. That's when the vet, Elena,
she bounces out.
She's terrified. Then she goes against the police and says the baby is huge now, something's going on there. And that's when they come back.
Yeah.
And in the meanwhile, that's when Carmen goes crazy and attacks the husband with the knitting needles. They come back, and then there's the yarn everywhere. So maybe in the span of like an hour or so, she's killed her husband, or I think killed, or at least I think he's dead. But sprung him up
on the stairs.
Yeah. Stabbed needles. And then the whole living room, which by the way is a very nice living room. I really enjoyed it with the double doors and everything.
Yep, big doors.
Yeah.
giant windows, very
Yeah.
nice room covered in creepy spider web yarn.
Well, not. I mean, before that part, like in the Spanish countryside, that could be
Yeah.
a little getaway space. That could be fun.
So then she's talking about she's got to feed the baby, and she's putting liver and milk in a blender, like just cutting up cow's livers.
Yes.
And at least I think they're cow's livers, and putting them in a milkshake for this baby. So weird. Yeah.
Very protein rich.
Dude, but we have to. So Elena, one of my favorite scenes is Elena goes back to the priest, and he's like fired up because he's thinking about the exorcism, and he's smoking a cigarette, and he's boxing,
punching, yeah. Oh,
and he's covered in sweat.
Yes.
It was ridiculous. Oh, my cat's knocking stuff down.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he's punching. He's getting his like religious garb all drenched in sweat.
Dude, it was weird, like strangely, like terribly done as far as like covering him with sweat.
Yeah.
Like, because it was just like he was soaking in the front, and he's only like halfway through his smoke. Like, I'm like, this dude is not sweating this much right now. I don't know. So she talks to him.
Maybe he got caught in the rainstorm from earlier on in the episode.
Maybe if he just like only went out with the front of his shirt. So then they go back and they're checking on the baby.
Yeah.
And between that point and now, so within like what, an hour?
Yeah.
Carmen has completely lost her shit. She stabs the mayor.
Yes.
And
they find the baby is gone.
Baby's gone, and she's got super strength.
Carmen has super strength. Yes.
She's throwing people around, throwing furniture, like crazy, like super powered knitting psychopath.
Ooh. Like, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like Phyllis on drugs.
So we've come to find out whatever is doing this, it wants the coin, and they're out to get this coin. This baby wants the coin. Carmen wants the coin. Whatever is in her, like forcing her hand, wants this coin.
Yeah.
And then it becomes just like, this is the point where I remember. So up until now, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this show. Like it was very, very interesting, and I was very into it, but it was so dark, so depressing. They wanted you to see death literally everywhere from the beginning of the show. I mean, half of it is set in a slaughterhouse. Yeah. So there's death everywhere there. And then the rest of it is just death, like being, so I'm like, I'm having a hard time getting into this. And then like the show moves from like this creepy supernatural thing into like an action horror show within the last, I mean, this is, so the first episode's an hour and 20 minutes. So within the last maybe half hour, it becomes just like a horror movie action thing where like they're like running from
Bloodborne. That's what I loved about it. It totally became like a scene from Bloodborne to me, and I'm like, this is so cool.
Yeah, but that's when I kind of came back on it. I'm like, okay, I forgot what I was watching. Like, this is, I'm enjoying this more, knowing that it's like a full blown, like just a horror thing where it's like, where there's a bad guy and like, and that's when I was like, okay,
Craftian vibes to it.
Very much so. Yes. That was a big thing. I feel like we'll see more of that. I hope so.
Yeah.
We see more of that. But yeah, so then the baby is no longer a baby.
No.
It's a giant spider baby.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
I know. Spider creature with like the alien kind of face on the top front of it, but then a baby head coming out of the instead of like the teeth, it's like a little baby head coming out the middle of it.
It is worth watching the series just to see this crazy creature alone.
Yeah.
Because it's so weird and so well made that I was like, that was really, really cool, really well done.
Yeah, and he attacks the veterinarian like head on in the church. And so That part I thought was so cool though, because then we've got the whole like kind of demonic entity, if that's what it is, like in the church.
The
And
showdown.
yes, and while that's kind of happening, the priest is kind of in a showdown with Carmen.
Yes.
Um,
And
oh
whatever
wait,
entity is controlling her.
yes,
We also
yes.
get to see inside the secret world, and see that it's just full of the priest's guns.
Yes. So behind the Mary statue in that secret world that Antonio showed them earlier, the secret room, yeah, is just a wall of guns like the Kingsmen.
Yes, exactly like that, where it's just like that the boards with all the guns up on the wall.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes. And it's just like all that, and you're like, oh yeah, here we go. Okay, yeah. And then he puts some bullets in like holy water, and Carmen is like, "You think that's gonna stop me?" And he's like, "I do." And he like grabs them out of the baptismal font, puts them in the gun.
He's a great like action hero, like this dude, this father. Yeah. Like he's just, I mean, he's I think he's such a cool character. Yeah. I'm interested to see more of like what his backstory is and what he'll do going forward, because we don't know everything about him. Like we know people are after him and he's like paranoid and stuff enough that he has a giant room full of guns, but he's also badass too. Like Carmen's got super strength, and at one point like he looked like he did too, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and he says something about how like it's not whether or not you have something, but if you believe you have something or something like that. And so I don't know where, I think we'll learn more about that too. I think he might have been using something like that as he was fighting her to make her think, or that whoever was controlling her think that he was more powerful than he was.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's cool. That's a good point. I like that. Yeah. So I mean, and that's it. Like that's the first episode. Like so much happened.
I felt like we also got some growth in, I don't want to spoil it either, but I do feel like I'm interested to see where the veterinarian goes from here, because not to spoil what happens, but you know, she had a really like a harrowing encounter with that baby spider thing.
Yeah, that would mess me up for life.
And she seemed really
almost did.
And then like she ends up leaving and do something pretty badass to the father. And like, and I don't want to spoil any more of it, but I was like, oh, interesting. Like, she's not like this, because before she was kind of cowering in the confession booth, like hiding and screaming. And now she seemed like kind of was like, no, I'm done with this now. Like nobody's gonna look out for me, then I'm gonna help myself. Which we'll see what happens.
I'm very eager to see what happens with her too, for sure, because she's there was a huge transition. She was probably, I mean, between like her and the priest, they were definitely the most like alpha in the whole show. They were the ones like take charge, like let's get this done, where everybody else was just like
the mayor was kind of like the guy who got punched around, you know.
And he was too afraid to stir the pot. He was just like, I don't know, he's Weasley. But
it's good eye candy.
He was definitely
those glasses.
His glasses.
Well, I'll keep him around for another episode or two.
So it was like I said, it took me up until like now, until for me to like really like understand if I liked the show or not. And now I will say, anybody that is thinking about watching the series, like it is very violent. It's pretty gory. I mean, it's not gory besides the opening credits. Like that was the only real like gore.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about too. I found that really interesting that they really dug into the historical side of it in the opening credits. And I was wondering, do you think they're gonna like, will religion play a bigger part in it? Like,
I feel like it will.
Right? Because I feel like at this point it's been more like horror. Like how is the Catholic Church, which is, I'm assuming that's what this is, like the priests about the Catholic Church. They look like it. How are they part of this Lovecraftian demon thing? What does that have to do with the Judas's coins? I'm really fascinated to see how that all kind of comes together. I don't know.
Yes. Well, I mean, so the guy getting the coins in the beginning was a priest.
You know, like controlling that guy or somehow. Like
and now we have another priest. So something is going on there as far as the religious aspect of it.
But our priest seems to be like against collecting the coins. Like he seems like he doesn't really want them, and like whereas the other priest seems like he actively was trying to get them.
Yes.
right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, this one, Father Vergara, he seemed like he really didn't even know anything about the coins.
Okay, yeah. Because we probably shouldn't say anything about it, but he got it through a very mysterious, odd circumstance.
Yeah, and he didn't even know what it was. Like
Right.
he literally gave it away. He was like, "You could have it. It's just a piece of metal."
Yeah, right. Because then at the end of the episode, he kind of wants it, and that's when things change a little bit.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
So, I mean, so after the episode was done, then I was like, I mean, after like it took 20 minutes to get my face to go back to normal. I was really like toying with it. Like, it's hard though, because like a lot of the stuff that we have been watching has been like, stuff that really is nothing like that. More like comedies or superhero shows. Like that's like all the shit that's on right now. And this was very different from any of that. So it was interesting to see that. And then once I realized, like, okay, this is just like we're gonna get like a new horror movie basically every episode.
Yeah.
I just have to be in the right mind space for that. And I think I'll enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Which, because we haven't watched anything like that in a while, I forgot that they even existed. Stuff like that,
Yeah.
So, so what would you rate it on our fancy pants scale? You want to binge it?
I mean, I wanted to binge it. I wanted to keep watching it that night. So yeah, I'm gonna rate it a binge, definitely.
Yeah. So, and I'm at watch it because I think I was good at that one episode at the time. I was like, all right, I need time to like, but I do want to get back in there. I want to know more. Like so much like started that I was like, we need more like answers.
Yeah. I'm hoping there's going to be like a badass nun coming into it. I love
you do love your badass nuns.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just like throwing holy water and shooting bullets.
Yeah, it's like Whoopi Goldberg and Sister Act, right?
Oh,
that's what you're hoping for.
Like if Whoopi Goldberg and Sister Act meets like what's her name, Carrie-Anne Moss or Trinity in The Matrix, like that's what I want.
Good. If that doesn't happen, we need to pitch that to any buddy listening.
Yes,
from HBO Europe. That is a budding film writer. Mm-hmm. Get at us. We got a great idea. Sister Act 4.
Sister Act Deuce.
I think there's Bennett too.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So I'm drinking this. I bought this beer specifically for the show.
Yeah.
Because I was out buying beer and I was like, this one is perfect. It is called Sobre Humano Pelina Ole. Superhuman Pale Ale. And it's got this demon on it. This is what the thing looks like. It looks right?
Great too.
So it's from Jolly Pumpkin Artisan, and it is it's delicious. It's a wild ale. You would love it because it's funky. It's got cherry and passion fruit added, and then it's oak aged and it's fermented in the can. So like
the bottom of the farm that the cow was giving birth in, I'm into it.
It's not that funky, but it definitely is. I know you like the ones that taste like just like a bed of hay.
Absolutely.
But this one it's funky, but still very fruity. But I was like sold on. I'm like, this is the most perfect name for and can.
I think this could be this. We got to find our niche, find our.
Yeah, yours is the song.
I tried it, but you know what? I have to be honest with you. I couldn't. I'm like, what song do I want to play for this one? I don't even know anymore now. I was thinking of Zuela Jesus. I feel like that would go with this music, but that's not really like.
We're in episode 3, and your plans. I'm gonna have a song for every episode already. Shit's so bad.
Well, I think you found a new one. I'm loving this whole. We got to get a classic beer for every episode.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah, mine wasn't picked for the episode. I just have so few beers. I got this one.
Yours it's green screened right now. You can't. There it is. A little sequench. That's a good one.
Yeah, some
a
sour
nice
ale.
Light.
Yeah.
Sour.
Is it? Let's see. Yeah. There you go. It keeps disappearing because it's haunted.
Spooky beers.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. But I mean, the thing is, the music I was thinking that mixed with this episode didn't really show my infatuation with how much I liked the episode, right? Because they're all kind of dark and gloomy. So that's why I didn't really know how to meet that in the middle there.
Yeah, no, I could see you having a hard time with this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, if you think of one, we'll add it into the show notes,
Okay.
or we'll have it next time. So some other information I have written down. So on IMDb, this show is at a 7.2.
Okay.
Pretty well rated.
Mhm.
Considering like that it does have like strong religious themes and stuff like that. And then after looking at that, I found it's written and directed by a man named Alex de la Iglesia, and he is widely
Amazing, of course.
not widely known, I guess, because I didn't know about him, but in certain circles, he's a very like prominent like cult movie horror director, and
Oh
like
my gosh, really? That's so
yeah, so he's got tons of like movies that people like just rave about that are like this.
But it means of the church, right?
What's that?
Doesn't his last name mean of the church in Spanish?
Sure.
I just think that's really funny because I think that's what that means with my,
with your limited high school Spanish knowledge. Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, so he's known as kind of like, okay, cool. I have to look him up now. Nice.
Yeah. So there were a lot of things like when I was on Reddit, people were saying like, check out this Dirty Coin show. It's it's like his movies. So
yeah,
definitely check it out if you're a fan of this. But again, like a lot of I don't know, just really over the top like horror like scenes and stuff like that. So I don't know, could be worth checking out.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so this was fun. I enjoyed how different this show was from the first two that we watched.
Totally. I mean, the difference between this and Bridgerton.
Yeah. Holy cow. Now I want to see a crossover.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, although that's kind of been done with, what's it called? True Blood.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just heard a theme song for that again. That was a good theme song. I was watching a Portlandia episode, and they're making fun of the theme songs to all those HBO shows that are
True
like
Blood song. Yeah, that was a good one.
They said they were like in a band that did all the promos supposedly, or all the songs for the HBO. And so, was Breaking Bad on it too? Was that HBO?
No.
Okay, so it must have been Prime Cable or whatever they called it. But yeah. They played out, and it basically was all the same kind of. I didn't realize all those started out the same way with like the steel guitar.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I'm like, oh, that's true. Yeah. Anyway.
So now, speaking of intros, will you continue? Will you, if the intro to this show is the same every episode, will you watch it or will you choose to skip intro?
Oh, I don't know. That's a great question.
Are you a skip intro guy when you have that option?
I usually don't. I usually keep watching them because I just really enjoy the music usually, and it gets me into the mode of the show.
Yeah.
I wonder
a couple that I would skip. There were a few that I've skipped previously. I don't remember what they were. Some of them are like long. There's some long intros, and I'm like, I gotta skip it. The one I do remember that I used to skip all the time was Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, because the song was so obnoxiously catchy that it would be stuck in my head for like a week straight if I didn't skip the intro.
That's amazing.
I dive for the remote, and they're like, no, don't let it.
That's the one where they were like shows them being the mole people, right? And then they come out and like
No, this song's stuck in my head now.
Obviously, Game of Thrones. I never skipped that because I loved seeing where they're going to be that episode, and like the houses kind of come up and spinning around.
One of the best intros.
Yeah, I loved Penny Dreadful intro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember what other ones I really, really liked. Obviously, Star Trek: Next Generation, one of my favorite TV shows.
Amazing intro. Yeah, that's one you sing along to.
Yes, I do.
And X-Men.
When I see Beverly's name come up, Beverly Crusher, I always have to yell Beverly because I always, she's one of my favorites. Yeah. So.
And the X-Men cartoon
intro. Gosh, when they come against each other and they're just like bam, and there's powers going everywhere. And
I used to write lyrics when I would watch the thing. I would write lyrics and sing them to the song of the thing.
No, tell me more.
I don't remember. I wouldn't like write the lyrics, but I would be like, then here comes Beast, and then there's Wolverine. Everybody's coming, and there's a Professor X. Yeah. Yeah. So
I love that. Yes. Oh God. I mean, that I feel like that was a little bit of your youth that I've never heard about before. I'm enjoying that.
Dude, that was like a couple weeks ago. I'm talking about. So that's it. We did it. We made it through another episode. Hopefully we didn't spoil too much, and everybody still feels like they want to go check this one out. And I will preface it by saying, this one's a little bit heavy. So
I mean, the thing is that I feel like this is on Fruit Lab. There are a lot of people who are into video games here. To me, this one had like, of all the ones we've watched, the most, well, maybe Winx did too, but a video game vibe to it too, which I really resonated with.
It did. Very like, I don't know, very like role-playing game.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah,
like
totally.
And yeah, so
like, trying to like Parasite Eve. Did you ever play that back in the day?
No.
Okay. I mean, that was based in New York City. It's different, but it was the same kind of very weird environment. I mean, I can see this being like the Spanish version of Parasite Eve. I don't know why I just thought of that, but anyway, yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, but
check it out.
Definitely, we gets a thumbs up from both of us. Liz, I don't know about her if she's going to want to continue to watch any more of them. She was still like coming down from it today, but yeah.
She texted me and said she was disturbed that I liked it so much.
Yeah, we had that conversation like right at the beginning, and then it was like, okay, I get it, but like at the beginning when it was very like, what is going on? I think it was when the demon baby popped out. We're just like, why are we doing this? But yeah, so we'll see what we watch for next week. It's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be very different from this. There's not much like this that exists in the world.
All right.
But yeah, I'm excited to get back here and talk more TV shows with you. So until then, my name is Eric.
And I'm Keith.
And this has been First Steps. Thanks.
So yeah, 30. I keep wanting to call it 30 Rock. 30
Don't call it 30 Rock.